Alright, let's carry on, see what else we get. Heiyankyo Alien. Oh, well then. Time for some digging. Okay, so, yeah. Heiyankyo Alien. I was, first introduced to this concept through Deceased Crab's video of it. And then later I saw Arno play it on Game Center CX in a corner called... that was a waste of color, in which he played old Game Boy games and decided which ones would be cool to see remade with color. And it's a very, very basic old arcade-style game in which there are aliens, and you dig holes, and the aliens fall into the holes, and you bury them, and you move on to the next stage. And of course, being old-timey and arcadey, you can't simply turn in a direction, you have to walk in that direction, which makes things difficult. More difficult than they should be. Don't really recall what these do, if anything. Okay, so they're just, blockade-type things. And yeah, your timing for digging these holes is rather slow. Oh, and of course he speeds up for being the last one. That's the thing to do when you are an arcade game. You have the very last thing go a lot faster than all the other things. Yeah, or, you know, you have it hole up in a corner and never actually move again. And it's not gonna work. There. And that is Heiyankyo Alien. To the best of my recollection, that is how the entire frickin' game goes. Like, you know, we get more enemies, we get a couple different types of enemies, but... that's the game! You dig holes and you bury aliens. So, you know, I've kind of already run out of things to say about this game because it is so damn basic. It's kind of fun, I suppose. It's not really... there's a lot of other arcade games that I would go to over this. Even just other things in the same style of being amazingly simple. This one's just, not my cup of tea, really. Annoying. Wow. I should not have actually left him for last. I think I may be utterly screwed, because, there's no real way to, outrun this guy. There's no, you know, dash button, no run button. Oh, there, finally. Of all the good that actually did me, because, you know, I'm not going to be able to dig a hole fast enough to bury him. Let's see if we can't improve this hole. Or, you know, he can do that. Hooray! Alright, there we go. We'll try one more level of this, why not? I would go until I get a game over, but it's, without save stating, that game over would happen amazingly quickly. And with save stating, it just would take a very long time to happen, so... neither one is particularly fun. Or enjoyable, or... making for a good video, or whatever you want to say. Damn it. yeah, again, I will stress this game is not really my kind of thing, and I'm gonna have to actually double check. I don't think that this game exists in any other version that I'm going to eventually run into. I think this will be it for me. Oh, and also, I do recall that Zeta Plays has played this as well. I vaguely remember his video, in which he spent about as much time as I am likely to be. As soon as we get this last alien in, get some more holes out here. It doesn't look likely that he will be actually falling into that one. Probably not, so let's try it this way. There. Okay, and yeah, that's... like, I don't recall there being boss levels or, like, in-between level cutscenes or anything. It's just this, continuing on and on. I do not recall how many stages this game has exactly, but my guess would be quite a lot. Let's actually go ahead and just kill some time and look it up, and lose some lives in the process. Because we haven't actually really let that play out, so let's see what that looks like while I am finding information. What do we got? Hey, an FAQ exists! How about that? And the person who wrote this FAQ got up to version 2.2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different versions of an FAQ. And how does that happen? How do you update an FAQ for this game 6 times? Okay, so story. Wow, there's actually story. Although I suppose it makes sense, there's always story in the instruction booklets of things like this. Blah de blah de blah. Oh, there are exactly these 2 types of aliens. Just these 2 and no others. Okay, so the lanterns are the things that are the swirly things that open and close. The iron plates exist in certain spots and cannot be dug through. And there are apparently bowl boats in rounds 7, 8, and 9, which serve as boats to get from one dock to another. It's telling me that it was... Oh, hey! How about that? Oh god! Yes. New game and old game both exist as a thing. So, yeah, old game is the very original version of this, in which, you know, graphical quality sure is the thing. Sound quality as well. And apparently it used to take 5 button presses to... Oh, I got eaten. 5 button presses to, you know, capture an alien, or dig a hole and eventually capture it. So, yeah, that's about all I can say about this, since just reading through 6 levels, 9 levels, 12 levels. Okay, so apparently there are 12 levels to the old game, and then it ends, which is kind of surprising for this kind of arcade-style game. Yeah, old game, you get your 3 lives there and 1 extra life at 30,000 points. And it It has 20 stages of different, you know, variations of block and not block. And then once you hit 21, it just loops constantly. So yeah, this has been Heiyankyo Alien, and there's like literally nothing more that can be said about this game. It's just one of the most simple and basic of old-style arcade games out there. Not really recommended here. There are much, much better arcade games out there. Okay. Asteroids. Nifty. Yeah, I was honestly hoping to get another of these old-timey arcade-style games. Since we only just had Heiyankyo Alien a couple games ago in the recording process, I can put these together in a single combo pack and actually have a themed combo pack. Is always nice. Competition play? Oh, okay. Did not know these other things were things. And even difficulty adjustment. Very nifty. So, yeah. Oh, oh, is that the... Yep, A button is the random teleport button. So, you know. It sure is Asteroids. Kind of, about the same level of music as a lot of the more early releases as you would see on Atari or the various letter and number consoles like, I don't know, I'm sure Amstrad CPC and ZX Spectrum and... oh, what were some of the others? I don't even know off the top of my head anymore, but you know the type, all those computer consoles released in Europe and didn't really have much of a following in North America because the NES and the Sega Genesis were the king. And wow, we managed to cause slowdown. Let's go ahead and erase that slowdown. So, you know, it's your basic physics-style shmup of you have momentum as you are moving around, which can be kind of a bad thing and work against you. It's not really always the best to be speeding around and doing stuff. And as already mentioned are the controls of B button is shoot, A button is randomly teleport away, which I really should have used just now, but again, since you are randomly teleporting around, you can just teleport from being in the direction of, you know, in the line of fire, or fire, but in the path of one asteroid to being directly in the path of another. I don't actually know all that much about Asteroids, unfortunately. Don't know when it was originally produced. I don't know if it was an Atari original or if it was just ported to the Atari. I know that it did get ported to, well, basically everything in one form or another, and, you know, like so many of the other arcade games, it did get updated versions as time went on. And that was pathetic. As my voice starts to give out, don't know why. Hope that's temporary. And yeah, this is definitely seeming to be the type in which... Let's just go ahead and look and see. Kinda nice on the Game Over music. And hey, we actually hit the high scores. Wasn't really expecting to make it onto the high scores list with that level of play I was showing there. A 7 kilobyte FAQ, because really, what else can you say? It's not really much to it. It's very little that can be said about it. Why was I even looking for... oh, right, I wanted to find out how many stages. And the FAQ does not say how many stages there are. I guess I can't say I'm surprised, but yeah, in the grand tradition of this kind of arcade game, it probably just, you know, loops infinitely. There is no actual end stage, there are no between-scene cutscenes, there are no bosses, obviously. It's just the same thing with more and more and more asteroids and other UFOs there as it goes along. So, yeah, there's not really much more that can be said, and, you know, since I made the high scores list, I'm pretty happy with that little playthrough. I don't really want to try that again and play for longer. So yeah, there's been Asteroids, and not really much else can be said. Although I will make a point of trying to find more information about, you know, when it was released, where and how it was released, who made it, etc, etc, because I know I will be playing this again. Presumably Game Boy Color, I'm sure, Game Gear, Game Boy Advance, just all the other systems. Probably on its own and in other arcade game compilations, because I know those exist as well. Okay, let's carry on and see what else we get. Hey, Dropzone! Nice! Okay, Dropzone. Nice old arcadey style game. Although, pretty sure it was arcade, might have been Atari, might have been both. So yes, Dropzone, we are little astronaut guy. Up and down and left and right are our controls. Single hit kills us. Damn. Let's see if we can, jeez, seriously. Okay. Less being terrible, starting now. Okay, there we go, we can actually kill these, yes. Was not certain for a moment there. And of course, being old arcade style, the graphics, well, not so much the graphics, but the sound effects are very bleepy. Okay, so yes, you're supposed to pick up these little things, take them someplace. Since that's why it's called Dropzone, we pick up the things and then drop them somewhere. I just don't remember where we're supposed to drop them. Okay. Nice that they're, like, directly above the thing that we're supposed to drop them in. In you go. Like that. Let's, come on. Oh, that'll work. Oops. Don't shoot the things you're supposed to drop. It's not good to, you know, be blasting the things you're trying to protect here. And yeah, obviously there is a whole bunch of stuff on screen, basically at all times. So, you know, you're, without save states and such, you're not very likely to survive for very long. And of course, the number of things you save in one stage is the number of things you have to save in the next stage. So kind of Zombies Ate My Neighbor style in that, you know, you're going to rapidly run out of things to save. And I keep shooting them all. That's not good. Come on, in you go. Oh, and I have a button that will make them sort of disappear for a moment and recombobulate elsewhere. Not 100% certain what makes a certain wave end, since earlier it was not defeating all of the things, or... Okay, yeah. I think we've had about enough Dropzone. We've shown off more than enough of the gameplay. Basically, being an old arcade-style game, it's just this kind of forever. Maybe this Game Boy version has an actual ending to it. Maybe it doesn't. I did not actually check, and either way, I don't think it would be worth trying to find out. Well, not even trying, but, you know, worth actually looking it up and finding out. It's just, it's Dropzone. It's an old-style arcade game, and it's good for very short bursts, and that's about it. Okay, so, yeah, this has been Dropzone. I'm sure there will be possibly other Dropzones on other consoles that we will get to eventually. Maybe just other old arcade games, who knows? We'll find out at some point later. And this one's kind of recommended, although you can probably do better than the Game Boy version of this. Okay, let's get one last one for tonight, and hope that it is actually something good. Well, another old arcade game. Well, two old arcade games actually, sure. Alright, couple old Midway games here. Oh, that's kind of a nifty way to split it up there. Yeah, let's start with Joust, why not? What kind of options? Oh. That's a bit of a painful noise. 1 second. A little tiny bit better. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why I thought the sound effects would be good in this. I mean, we've got arcade port on the Game Boy Color. Doesn't really lend itself to good sound. But even so, it is still Joust, and I still suck. Joust was never really my game. I really do prefer Balloon Fight. And if anything, I'd actually say that this Game Boy Color port actually has worse graphics than a number of older consoles. Or definitely worse than the arcade. Probably worse than the... oh no, definitely worse than the NES version. Probably worse than a number of other things that are that much older than it. I mean, I know we're not working with very much with the Game Boy Color palette and everything. Wow, that sure is a sound effect. Oh my. Ah. Yeah, I guess I'm not doing horrendously badly for this, then. doing about average for how I usually do playing Joust. Ah. That's okay. Wow, we managed to get first place somehow. That's, kind of telling that they didn't really try very hard. Guessing very similar options. Yes, indeed. May as well increase that. That sounds good. Alright, Defender. Oh. So, you know, I have to say that the map is a bit less useful here than it is even in some of the older releases. Again, very similar to Joust in that aspect. But yeah, here in Defender, you play a ship. There are these little green alien ships. They will try to steal the people, who are represented by like 5 pixels each. And if they steal the people, you lose. Well, if they steal enough people, you lose. Bad things happen. So, you know, you just try to stay alive and shoot all of the ships and not destroy the, you know, mountains and everything else that's going on there. Alright, so that would have been one wave if I could aim and not get shot. There are a certain number of ships per wave that you have to destroy. There we go. And yeah, this was, you know, originally on Atari and in arcades, and all those other letter and number consoles had all their versions of this. Most of which didn't have sound or color or things like that, but that's because they were terrible old consoles. Whoa. Tiny little fast-moving ships. Oh, and that's game over already. And again, just high score is whatever you get. It's not really how these games usually go. Usually these games have, you know, preset high scores that you can play until you're really good and maybe someday beat, instead of, hey, you turned the game on, you're the champion! So, you know, that's kind of really terrible and pathetic. But, you know, what can you do? Yeah, I'm not going to bother playing either of those games over again, partially because I'm not the biggest fan of either of those games, largely because I kinda suck at both of those games, and also because I know there are still versions of both of these games left on, you know, other versions. I'm sure there will be Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, and probably even Game Gear versions of these, if not alone or separate, then, you know, in other Midway collections. So, yeah, that's been Joust and Defender, and this will get tossed in with that other arcade game pack that, it's a good thing I didn't actually make that yet. I'll just kind of clump all of these together.